Hi, Lannon Road, 4th grade. I know it feels like forever since we planned or thought about planning our Kabuki masks when we studied Japan. That would be 1 year ago this week. So as we move forward finally with creating our plaster masks as 4th graders instead of when you were 3rd graders, there is a component that we absolutely have to have. And unfortunately, it's not the most exciting, but it is extremely important for helping you make the best mask possible. And that would be planning what you intend to build and paint. Drawing it in pencil is not nearly as much fun as making a mess with plaster and paint, but it is important so that you know what to build and where on your mask, and so you know where to paint what you desire to paint on your mask. So keeping in mind the video from the last lesson, the examples in the video, and the examples I placed in the last lesson for you to see, it's time for you to begin your Kabuki mask. No, I don't expect you to copy directly. You know I never prefer that because I am all about seeing your creativity. What I'm asking you to remember is this is a Kabuki mask design. So you should be using those Kabuki mask design elements as you design your mask. There were plenty of options from which to choose. Keep in mind that your colors say something about the character of the mask, says something about the animal as well. Pardon me. So I planned, instead of the monkey or the cat or the rabbit or a person, I planned a mouse. And as you can see, this is half. I folded my paper in half because there is a line of symmetry down the middle of your mask's face. That means, of course, that each side is the same as the other. However, there will be a bit of mirror effect. So that means that the way this eyebrow arches, on the other side it will be the opposite. But you don't have to draw both sides from scratch. Drawing one is sufficient, and then you'll be able to use a window as a light box to trace the half you designed to the other half of your paper. So if you are drawing from home, and that's only about 11 of my 4th grade artists, you want to draw an oval about the size of your mask. If you have the ability to print one from the computer, you can do that, but you don't need to. If I don't have one that's handy to trace or print, I usually put my hands around my face and lay my face down on the piece of paper, and I have one of my grown-ups or one of the people in my household handy to trace my face, only they're tracing my hands that are stuck to my face so that they don't actually have to trace right against the skin of your face. It'll give you a lumpy oval. It won't be perfect, but it'll be a good place to start. So when you do get your paper from me, or you've traced your own hands around your face a bit, when you've got your oval ready, don't forget to put your name on it if you're in the classroom. And then you're gonna fold it in half. Make sure you're folding the oval in half, not just the paper. So you might need to sneak a peek through your paper. You can usually see through it pretty easily. This is just computer printer paper, so that I can see that I've folded mine in half. Then your design must look as though it's influenced by Kabuki. There wasn't an example of a mouse, but I used Kabuki design elements that I liked from other masks I saw in the examples. Once I have half my mask designed, it's time to design the other half. So forgive me, this is gonna make some loud sounds, but I'm gonna show you how to tape this to the window. Any window works, especially if it's a bright sunny day, it works even better. And how to trace through your details to the other half of your mask. So there's gonna be a bit of earthquake action and follow Mrs. Billman across action. I need to get this gently out of my camera holder. And you're gonna come along with me across the art room to my windows. I am going to take the part that I already drew and I'm going to stick it facing outside my window. So this is going to be a little too close while I hold and tape. Now I'm hopeful that when I press down my paper, you can see my image a bit through the paper. If you cannot, that's okay. I can. So you can watch me trace what I see to get the automatic detail on the other half of my mask. Don't trace as fast as I am. My accuracy is not perfect because, first of all, nobody's perfect. Also, I'm working the camera and I'm trying to make sure you can see, and I'm tracing with one hand and not able to brace my hand on the other side of my paper. That top whisker I just traced isn't correct, but the good news is I'm using pencil like I should, so of course I can fix it later. I'm gonna trace over my tape. It's not a big deal. I really liked these kind of curly cues that look sharp on the ends that are part of Kabuki design. I'm having a little trouble seeing, which means I may have to go back and draw a little darker on my first half because I can't see the nose design very well. Everything else is showing up really greatly though. No problem. So let's pretend, and you know how we sometimes have to do that in the interest of time. Let's pretend that Mrs. Billman has traced every single thing. You can tell it's missing its nose. Now come back across the room with me and my other half of my mask, almost other half of my mask. And we're gonna open this up with the camera view changed so that you can see a little bit more easily and so that I have the use of both my hands. So let's pretend I traced everything and you can see I now have my whole mask design. Once I get the mouth and the nose traced correctly, so I only had to design half. You don't have to worry about making sure the eyes are the very same, making sure that they're in the same place. I want you to have a great design because it will set you up to paint better later. No, there's no way to put this plan directly onto your mask and trace it onto something that's three-dimensional. But this will have your hands moving in the right directions for the things you wish to draw, and that will help you move your paintbrush in the right directions for the things you wish to paint later. Take time to craft your plan. You virtual learners, this can be a 2 art time adventure. Don't believe for 1 second that I expect you to do this in 1 art class time, even though you're at home. Yes, I understand 36 minutes might be long enough, but you may change your mind. You may change your whole plan. You may draw it and dislike it greatly. So we take 2 art classes to craft a really great plan. Also, feel free to take notes or make notes. Here's what I mean by that. Once I've planned, I may want to make notes on my mask paper. Forgive this camera view, swap and switch. I'm gonna move this up a little so it's in the camera view better. In my margins or extra space, I might wanna make notes with arrows. For instance, maybe this mouse is not very nice. Blue paint is used when an animal or person is not nice. So I might wanna write blue paint, just so I really know later what I'm gonna be doing with these eyebrows. And I drew an arrow to it. Maybe I wanna add a splash of gold because I am gonna have some gold paint available and ready. So maybe I just want this and this in the ears to show up a little bit better. And so maybe I make a note that says gold. I have some plasticky tape there in the way. So forgive me while I write it again here. Those of you that have started a plan last year, of course I kept them, I promised. But if you think, I don't like what I started, you may certainly start again. Those of you that are living at home, I apologize. Of course you're living at home. Those of you that are learning at home, I have plans from you as well if you got to begin one. A couple of third grade classes last year only got the information and did not get to begin. So I will include those in your take-home pack if I have them. Good luck, artists. Take your time. This planning step is very important, and it's very important for you to plan well so that your mask looks great.